Well, hi, Jenna.
Well, hi, Shelby.
How you doing today?
Oh, pretty good.
It was a hot one today.
It's hot. It feels like summer.
It's 93 degrees when I got in my car this morning.
Yeah. In this morning,
This
it was
morning.
93?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep. Maybe it's just because my car was hot, but geez, it was.
No,
it was
that's
a
very
rough one.
warm. Yeah, definitely been hot. I know I have an outdoor concert this weekend, and it's going to be hot.
What are we seeing this weekend?
Purple Disco Machine and Abo and John Summit and Gorgon City.
Is that at Red Rocks?
No, I'm going to Regenerate Music Festival.
Oh my God,
in
that's so
Denver,
fun.
Colorado.
How fun! That'll be a blast.
Yep. It'll be hot.
Yeah, it will be. Hopefully, when the sun goes down. That's the one thing about being in Colorado. When the sun goes down, it gets a little bit cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, what are we talking about today?
I was going to say, on a completely unrelated note, probably why everybody is here, we are doing A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. Yay. And I have been seeing this one everywhere.
Yeah, I had this pre-ordered for months before it came out. I was super excited about its release. Mm-hmm. And then when it first came out, and even right before when people were getting ARCs, I was seeing a ton of really positive reviews. But then it's funny because after it came out, we were talking with girls that this was our book club book for the month of May. And girls were talking about that they were kind of seeing mixed reviews on Bear For You pages, and that it's kind of a love or hate with The Fate Inked in Blood. Like, not everybody was a big fan of it, but not a lot of people were sitting in the middle either.
I know. So I've also been hearing like the mixed reviews. Although on TikTok, I'm still really only seeing those like positive reviews. I'm not seeing anybody go and give these negative reviews. Have you looked?
I've only seen positive reviews on TikTok so far. I haven't really seen anyone bashing it. But I have seen on Goodreads, maybe some people that I follow on Goodreads not have super positive reactions to it.
Interesting. Yeah. So on that, what did you rate it?
So I started at a 4, but after book club, I did bring it down to 3.5.
Okay.
I liked it.
Yeah.
There were things about it that I definitely liked, but there were a lot of things about it that I didn't love.
Yeah.
What about you?
You know what? I came into book club real strong. I said 4.5. Mm-hmm. I loved this book. And as we were all kind of talking, I was like, ew, okay, maybe I didn't like that so much. Oh, maybe I didn't like that so much. And I'm like, one of the big things that I'm sure we'll dive into is I don't remember mostly what happened in this book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even that day at book club, I was like, I had just finished it that day. And I was like, oh, I didn't remember that.
I think everyone was feeling that way a little bit. We all kind of remember the vibes and we remember the banter.
Yep.
Zero plot. Don't remember any of the plot lines happened.
So this is going to be a vibes episode.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I read this book about a month ago, so it's been a minute.
It was that long.
Yeah, I read it a while ago. Yeah, it was definitely a few weeks ago, but
I felt like it kind of. Maybe I'll save that for the spoiler section. So do you want to get into some spoilers?
Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, go give us a follow on the socials. We are going to get into spoilers for the entire book. So, yeah, let's get into some spoilers.
Yeah.
So the very beginning, I felt like I was so intrigued, like right away off the bat. And I loved that. But then just plot-wise, in the middle, I was like, I could not keep my interest.
Yeah. I felt like the pacing at the very beginning of A Fate Inked in Blood was great. Like, the first 10% was awesome, and I was really into it. I loved that it came in right away. Kills her husband right away.
What?
Like, that was a really strong start. And then, I agree, it kind of petered off for me a little bit, and I lost some interest in the middle.
I did too.
Not that I didn't read it fast, because I think I did. It just, the last 90% of the book didn't hold up to what I thought I was going to get out of the first 10%.
Agreed, because we were even saying, like, right before we started recording that, like, what even happened at the end? And I was like, you know what? All I know is this. And I was like, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Honestly, that was still probably one of my favorite parts of the book was Freya killing her husband.
Yes, me too. Me too. I thought that was so cool. And I loved that he stayed dead.
Yes. God, I feel like we've read so many books recently where people come back to life. I'm talking about you, Sarah J. Maas.
For real. Every single character.
But I was like, thank God that somebody actually just dies and is dead.
I listened to the audiobook and I was kind of going back and forth between the audiobook and the real book and the physical copy. And I felt like that actually really helped with the pronunciation for some of these words. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I had no idea what they were actually saying and who they were referencing. So I feel like it'd be kind of fun to go through and say like how the words were actually said in the audiobook.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So first up, we have Freya. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing people kind of say Feyre, but it was a Freya named after the goddess. And then we have Björn, and they kind of said their O's as U's, and then the J's are Y's.
Okay.
So it was Björn.
Okay.
And then we have, how would you say the Jarl? How would you say his name?
Snorri?
Okay,
right?
that was basically it.
Yeah?
Yeah, Snorri.
That's like probably the first time I have ever pronounced
five,
one of
girlfriend.
those correctly. That's a terrible high five. I want
Okay,
another
let's
one.
do it again.
That's like
Perfect.
probably one of the first times you've ever heard me
got it
pronounce
right.
something correctly. I'm so proud of myself right now.
I know, that was fantastic. Good job. Good job, Jenna. Honestly, I was originally saying it as Snorri. Like,
that's way funnier, actually.
no, right? Well, because that's kind of how I thought of him too. So I thought it was really interesting.
He was a snooze fest, so.
He was a snooze fest. My God. And then
I like Snorri better.
I like Snorri better too.
That's funny. Okay, so what about his wife?
How did you say it?
I'm forgetting the exact spelling. It was like Yurla or something like that.
Ylva.
Ylva. Yulva?
It was Ylva.
Ylva.
Ylva. Again, listening to that audiobook was hilarious.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
And then her brother, Geir.
Gear?
Geir.
Okay.
And then we had, I already said Jarl. Her husband's name.
I don't remember the spelling of his name.
Froggy.
Froggy? Is that really what his name was?
Yeah, it was Vragi.
Oh, I think I was saying Vargy.
Vargy. I could see that. Well, it was funny because in the audiobook, it sounded like they were saying Froggy.
That's what I thought you were saying.
It was like Froggy, but with a V. Isn't that hilarious?
Froggy. Okay.
Froggy.
I mean, we only hear his name for like the first 30 pages, and we kind of don't hear of him ever again.
And then he's gone there now.
So he was not memorable. Fuck that husband.
Fuck that husband. For real, though.
Ex-husband.
In the first 5 pages. So wild. And then the goddess that she originally, it was H.
It's not him?
Mm-mm. It's lean.
What?
Yeah. So it's spelled Hlin.
Oh, I was reading it as Hi. The I's and the L's look very similar in print,
really
to
do.
be fair.
They really do.
So it's supposed to be Lin.
Lean.
Like
if
I'm
you're
leaning?
leaning.
Okay. Lean.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That was one.
I definitely got that wrong.
I was like, what are they saying in the audiobook? And then I went back and read it, and I'm like, that's what they were referencing?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have gotten that.
Wild. And then the guy who was trying to get Freya in the beginning, his name, it's Gnut.
Nut? That's how I read it.
The only reason I knew this is because I have a friend named Canute.
Is that really how you say it?
It's Gnut.
Canute?
Yes.
Oh.
Gnut.
Okay.
Isn't that so funny?
Yeah, I definitely just was reading as nut.
I know.
Like I thought it was like a silent G.
I know, because that's how we say it here.
Yeah.
The only reason that I knew that
because you're a friend.
I have a friend whose name is Canute, and on his Instagram he says Canute, like Canute. And I thought, so I was like, oh my gosh, but even still, it sounds wrong.
Yeah.
It sounds wrong.
That's so funny.
And then her new BFF that starts with a B, Bodil.
Bodil?
It's
Bodil?
Yeah. Good
You
job.
said use, so I got that one down.
Killing it, girl. You're killing it.
You like a blank face. Is like, I clearly don't even remember the spelling. I don't remember any of these people.
What it's because the side characters don't matter.
Kind of.
Kind of. And then we have Leif.
Life? Leaf?
Leif.
Leif?
Leif. But very close. Very close.
Okay. That one should have been easier, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
but
Leif.
again, the only reason I knew that was because I have a friend named Leif.
Ingrid, I know that one.
Ingrid, yeah, there you go. There you go.
one.
We've got that one. And then the singer, or I'm sorry, the storyteller.
You gotta spell it for me. I don't remember his name.
Steinunn.
I feel like I'm in a spelling bee right now.
I know.
Say it again.
Steinunn.
Oh,
She was the storyteller.
Steinen. I don't
Yes,
know. Is that
yes,
right? Steinen.
Yes. Good job. It was Steinen.
Wow.
I need to put the Jeopardy music behind it.
What is Steinen?
What is that? Correct for 500. Oh my god, this is hilarious. I was so excited for this part.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
I've got more right than I expected.
You really
to be
have
honest.
though. You're killing it. You
Thank
are
you.
killing it.
Thank you.
And then the last one that I have is a location. It starts with an F. It was FJALLTINDR.
I don't even want to try. I don't even know where to start on that one.
Fjaltender.
One more time.
Fjaltender.
Fjaltender.
Yes, good job.
Okay. I love
Honestly,
the
though,
Fjaltender.
And I even am doing that with my hand.
The hand gestures. I feel like I'm Italian if I do that.
Just bringing up the Italian. Oh my god, I'm crying. It brings me back to we were just talking about with Ruthless Vows that sometimes I read in accents now. I don't know why this
Yeah, I
is.
bet you read this in an accent for sure.
100% I did.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Especially since you were listening to it.
Exactly. And she had a phenomenal accent. And she said all the words very correctly. And I loved it. But we have a Björn in our family.
Do you? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Not my immediate family.
Like extended family.
Björn Stensgaard. How Norwegian is that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Definitely. I love it though.
Oh gosh. I think the one that caught me most off guard was the lean.
Lean. Yeah.
Hiln.
Yeah, I thought it was Hiln. I think I was just being dyslexic on that word. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I thought it was too. I did not know
What's his god again? It's like TGR or something, isn't it?
Chur?
Oh, TYR. Tear?
Tear.
Tear.
Yeah, like a teardrop.
Okay.
Yep.
The only isn't like Thur or Thor. Isn't that Norse mythology too?
Yes.
I was surprised that wasn't in here. I feel like that's the one that I see the most, like him and Loki.
They're
stuff,
Greek.
right?
Greek.
Loki is too,
Yeah.
and Thur is too. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yep. They're all Greek mythology.
Whoops.
Norse is like, honestly,
I thought. Are you sure Loki? It really isn't. I did not.
because
know
Loki
that.
and Thor are the same.
Yeah, I guess I didn't
mythology.
realize that. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
I thought that Greek was like Aphrodite and like all of those ones.
Yeah, they are.
Oh. I'm looking it up. I'm so curious.
Yeah, no, honestly, so am I.
It is. No, Loki is Norse mythology.
Really? Oh,
He's the
that's
son
really
of. Try and pronounce this for me.
Okay.
F-A with the accent. B-A-U-T-I.
Can I see it?
Farbauti. Ruti. For booty.
For booty.
For booty.
I would think that's Farbauti. But
Anyways,
who
so
knows?
yes, the whole point of what I was trying to say is I
Yeah.
feel like it was cool. It was really cool that a Fatington Blood used different Norse mythology than what you see all the time. Because
Agreed,
what I
yeah.
feel like I normally see is Thur or Thor
Yes.
and Loki. And those are the ones that are, at least from what I've read, most common to be used. So it was kind of interesting to have Heon. Was it?
Lean.
Like, God, already I screwed that up.
It's all good. It's
Lean
all good.
and like other
Yes.
gods there. I thought that was really cool. Tyr,
I did too.
Yeah.
When she clearly did her research
Oh yeah,
too.
it was very
Holy
well
cow.
researched from that side.
Yeah.
Although it was funny because at the beginning of this book, the way that she throws out, "Oh, I'm a shield maiden," made me feel like I was supposed to know what that was, and
Okay,
I
same.
definitely did
I had to
not.
look it up.
I did not know. I didn't even look it up. I was just like, well, I'm going to find out eventually. But I got like halfway through the book and I was like, I think I'm just supposed to know. I think it's like if somebody throws out vampire and you're supposed to know what vampire is. I think I was just supposed to know what a shield maiden was. And I definitely did not.
I had to look it up because I was like, a shield maiden. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
We don't see that normally.
Yeah. That one was new to me. But it was
Yeah.
cool. That was one thing I liked about this. I thought it made it for unique mythology behind the story.
It absolutely did too. And I really liked that she wasn't, and neither was Bjorn. They were not descendants, I know. They were not descendants of like top tier gods. It was like second and third tier gods. Because she even says in the very beginning, like, oh, nobody was supposed to know. And it was just a drop of a god that nobody even knows. Like nobody even thinks to pray to her, nothing. So I really liked that. And I loved that she took Bjorn's axe and put it in the back of her husband's head.
Best part of the whole book.
Literally best part of the entire book. And it was so soon. For me, that kind of made it like less exciting in the rest of the book because the beginning was so exciting.
I know. It's so funny because when I started it, I had such strong hopes because it started so strong. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a 5-star book. I was like, this is amazing. This is so great. Because I really like, not only did I love that scene of her throwing it and then being like,
Oh no.
at my hand. But then like immediately afterwards when they're kind of working on healing her hand and they pray to the other god and they're like not sure if the god's going to answer. And then they do, but her hand is all like scarred and ugly. And I actually really appreciated her internal dialogue addressing the fact that she was kind of sad about that. She's like, I shouldn't care. I should be happy that I have functionality, but like I was pretty and I liked that.
Yes.
And it sucks to lose the beauty that I had. And I don't know. I thought that was a very real moment to have to acknowledge that.
So did I. I thought that was also very real. And I would probably have felt the same way. If beauty was something that I leaned on, which sometimes, let's be honest, we do. It's like, hey, I would be really sad if I was losing something like this. And then the fact that it wasn't like a prominent thing throughout the book, I didn't think. It was kind of just like in the beginning, and then she just puts a glove on and then everything's fine. I wish that would have been drawn out a little bit more because they really only talk about how beautiful she is in the beginning of the book, and then it's not as prominent in the rest.
Besides Bjorn being like, yeah.
Obsessed.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes, I know.
Let's talk about Bjorn.
Hell yeah, I'm on that page too.
Bjorn was the best thing about A Fading to Blood. His lies
I agree.
were unreal. That's oh my God.
Yes, me too.
But we've read other books recently that have had male main characters that I think people have really liked their banter or what they've said. Like Powerless was one that we read recently, and a lot of people liked what Kai said. But I thought Bjorn was so much smoother than any of them. Oh my God, I was dying. And so many of them were like a little bit punny, which I really enjoyed.
And it was funny. She was just so, I don't want to say dumb, but like she was
being all like shy and embarrassed about him. Like, honey, you've been married. We know that you've done the deed. You're okay.
With lemon juice.
That goes into one of my favorite lines though.
All right, let's hear what's your favorite.
When she's like about to kill her husband and she's like, yeah, well, because he's like, oh, well, you know, you're just dry, barren womb anyways. And she's like, honey, that's lemon juice. Yeah. And Bjorn is like, you didn't notice that your wife tasted like lemons? And she's like, tasted?
She's like, I'm sorry, what do you mean tasted?
And that just like really set the tone for me.
Of Bjorn?
My expectations from Bjorn. And then because he had said that shortly after, he goes, then they're talking and I don't know, Farrah's, you know, kind of being all like bratty, hard to get. And he says, don't underestimate my tongue, Freya, especially in the dark. And I was like, playing that back into that first scene.
Yep.
Oh man, it was so good.
Oh, 100%. I went back and reread it and I was like,
I was like, nice.
nice. I liked that.
Yeah, he had good punny, subtle, dirty talk.
He did. I loved it. I think one of my jumping forward just a little bit.
Yeah.
One of my absolute favorite parts was when she, and I kind of touched on this at book club a little bit, but when she was like in the cave, like basically getting herself off. And she was like thinking about him and she was like, I can't believe I'm thinking about him. Oh my God. And then he like scoots up on her and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm thinking of him.
Yeah.
I loved that. I loved the tension and I love that she was like, you know what? I'm just going to pleasure myself. And then he comes in and she was like, oh my God.
Oh shit, he could have seen that. Yes. Well, and then
I loved that.
Then later when we get the like true body warmth for survival scene.
That's one of your favorite tropes.
I love the body warmth for survival scene. And I don't even feel like there's that many books that do it. Like, it feels like one that's come. It's like a little micro trope that I'm a big fan of.
Because Ledge also has that.
Ledge had that, and that was one of my favorite ways that had been executed. And Ice Planet Barbarians has it. Laugh all you want. It's a great book.
I love it so much.
Okay, so when Bjorn is doing the body warmth for survival scene, right? And she's like hypothermic, fell off her horse or whatever. And they're, now cuddling up and he's having to cuddle behind her because he just is heated from the inside out.
No, yeah. Yeah.
In her head, I can't even say it with a straight face. Sorry. And she says, vaguely, I was aware as the sun grew brighter by the second that dawn would be here soon and we would be out of time. And by the gods, if he left me unsatisfied, I was going to fucking kill him.
That's
so hard.
Like when you're right on the edge, and then it's like they change, and it's like, no, why, no, just no.
If he left me unsatisfied, I was gonna fucking kill him.
That's
so funny.
I thought that was so funny too. I think that her inner dialogue, I loved in this book.
I was mixed, actually.
You were mixed?
Yeah, I mean, I liked some moments like that. There were some parts where she was funny. She's also kind of a whiny little bitch.
She is kind of a whiny little bitch. You're right. You're right.
And a lot of the girls at book club,
they did,
felt that she was kind of insufferable as a main character. I mean, yeah.
And one of the things that I had said at book club was that I liked her inner dialogue. I just didn't think it really matched who she was on the outside. And so her action, she wanted to be this big Viking. She wanted to be this person who like fought and everything. But then you find out that she doesn't actually really want that. And so I feel like her inner dialogue just didn't match her outer personality and her actions. But I loved the inner dialogue. I felt like getting her thoughts was so funny because she had thoughts about everything. Mm-hmm. They weren't necessarily intelligent, but they were funny.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about it. Again, another thing we talked about is she's only 20.
Yeah.
I think when I didn't really realize that until we went back and were talking about it more. Mm-hmm. Because in my mind, and maybe just because she was married and then widowed.
I know.
Then for whatever reason in my mind, she was like 28-ish, She was closer to 30 than she was to 20, but it does say at some point that she was 2 decades old. I mean, she's literally 20 years old. So then once I realized, I was like, okay, I kind of got to step back a little bit and give a little more grace there because that is
how 20-year-olds
adult,
think.
But not that old. Yeah.
Well, and then I think that was something that we had talked about recently with like books we were going to talk about on TBR, that we were excited for this one because she was older.
Yeah, we thought she was older.
Wasn't.
She was just married previously, which I did like. I did like that whole concept. I'm always a fan of books that the female main character is not some blushing virgin that is just being taught everything by the man that she's with.
Agreed.
Right?
Same.
Kind of appreciate somebody who's had some life experience and has a better idea of what they want because of that, and then can bring that to the relationship, and that they also add to the relationship versus just being taught.
Agreed.
So even if she was younger, I think we still get a little bit of that in here. But she does feel very immature in a lot of ways, like her refusing to take any medicine for the pain in her hand.
Yeah, what?
I
can suffer through it. No.
Well, she's like, and then later her newer friend whose name I'm blanking on. I don't know. The one that was kind of friends with Bjorn first.
Udil?
Maybe that's who it was. I don't even remember their names. But
Yeah.
whatever girlfriend she makes after she's been hanging out with Bjorn, who's like trying to give her medicine and stuff. And she's like, you think you deserve the pain, don't you? And she's like, yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
I felt like that was supposed to hit harder for me.
I agree. Same
And
here.
it didn't. I think it fell flat. And so I instead just found it kind of annoying that she was unwilling to take care of herself versus feeling like, oh, I feel sad that she thinks she needs to punish herself. Because
I was like, no, I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah, so that didn't go over well for me.
Agreed. Yeah, some of the girls at book club were also saying that because she was so insufferable, that was a reason that they seriously lowered their rating.
Yeah, I think our lowest rating was a 2.
It was a 2.
Yeah.
It shocked me. Like, I guess I just had such high hopes going into this.
Me too.
That I was shocked. She literally said, I hated this book. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Although it's funny because that was a great example of just different opinions because she loved Powerless. Mm-hmm. And I think I was not a big fan of Powerless.
You were not a big fan.
So it is always fun to see, even within the same genre and books that should feel kind of similar.
Yeah.
To see like what people do or don't like.
I know it is really funny to see the differences in what people do or don't like because like Powerless, we were saying, was super tropey and very like a lot of the things we've been reading where I actually felt like this was different than the things we've been reading. I thought it was
very unique. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish it was executed a little bit differently. I wish that our main character was less whiny. Less of a whiny bitch than she actually ended up being.
Yeah, I really liked the pace of the beginning and had that pace kept up, I think would have been great. Or it's hard to start that strong and just not keep it. I think was tough.
Yeah.
And once it got going, for me, A Fate Inked in Blood was very predictable.
You said that. I didn't actually feel that way. Tell me why.
There were just lots of little things, like when she overhears the conversation and she just assumes that it's like the wife or whatever that's talking about it, or they like specifically say a line somewhere like, oh, Freya of 2 bloods.
Oh,
and like no one's supposed to know that that's what. There were just so many things like that, or even the deal that she makes with the Jarl, and it specifically says that she has to back, people of his blood.
It was like, it didn't say people of his blood. It was something like his blood or like, but you're right. That part, I definitely was like, that was super obvious. Hey, guess what? His blood could also be Bjorn.
His son. Yeah. So there was just like kind of a lot of stuff like that I felt. The only thing that really surprised me was when she killed her husband.
Oh, and that was at the very beginning of the book.
But almost everything else. And to be fair, having read Bridge Kingdom, I think that probably made me prepared for Bjorn to be the traitor, just because it's like it was same, her writing but style. Opposite sort of thing, as that series. And so I think I could see that coming. That was obviously going to be it, and the way that he talked about the other kingdom, I think made it really obvious to me that he was more invested in them than he is in his actual family.
Well, so King Harold, I actually loved his character.
Yeah?
I did. And even though I knew that he was supposed to be like the other side, the bad guy, his interactions with everybody where he was like, he just kind of like, well, is that how you think this is? Is this how you think it is? And he just kind of, in my head, I saw him like lean back a little bit, like smirking, like, that's interesting.
What I always pictured, like, if you know my husband, then you know, but his favorite thing, his favorite response, his favorite word is just go, huh. It's just, that one word means so much, just, huh. That's what hilarious. I kept picturing with King Harold. Yes. Just being like, huh.
Yep, 100%. That is how I pictured it. And that cracks me up because Gianni and I do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Where we're like upset or like we just want each other to know like we're annoyed. Just the one word, huh?
Yep.
And you got his face, the millennial steak face.
Oh man,
Oh, it cracks me up. But I loved King Harold. I thought that he played the perfect opposite side. Like, I knew that he wasn't going to be like the actual bad guy, even though everybody was playing him out to be.
Did you expect Bjorn's mom to be, I don't know, like alive and at him?
No, I didn't see that.
I didn't at the beginning. Towards the end, I did see it a little bit, but that one took longer for it to be obvious to me, I think. But pretty much once we hit that scene where Freya is eavesdropping on the conversation, that's kind of when I assumed she was alive and it was her.
You really? When she like claimed that it was Eva?
Yeah, because
really?
Because she said, or it's the king that's talking to her, right? Or no, not the king. The Jarl is talking to this mystery person, right? And he says something about a mother or something, and that was the moment that I was like, oh, I bet that's Bjorn's mom.
See, you got him before I did. I was like,
I don't know what it was. Yeah, this one, and that's why I say this one was a little bit predictable for me, which definitely brought it down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Which I think that's why I rate it a little bit higher, is because it wasn't as predictable for me. I also think because I was listening on Audible for like 50% of it, I was like not catching half of it. And so I was like, oh, I didn't even catch that was supposed to be like a clue as to what was happening. But
it's funny the different things that stick in your mind when you listen versus when you read. Because there is some things that I think that you catch more listening to when you're talking about reading or listening to it on an audiobook instead.
Definitely.
That I listen past. Or there's one I've been listening to an arc, although I think the book came out now, but an arc called Keeper of Scarlet Petals. And when you have a narrator that's really good at giving like inflections in their voices or tones and some of the ums and likes and breaks and pauses in speaking so that they give a little more energy behind it versus reading, I actually think I get a lot more from the story in that one because the narrator is so good at giving attitude that I wouldn't have necessarily gotten just from reading that sentence.
Right.
And so I think that's one thing that you probably also got from reading or from listening and reading, because you got the pronunciations and the attitude, but still reading to like digest the content, if that makes sense.
But I also think that's why I liked this book a little bit more was because there was so much from Freya's point of view, like just in her head, and the narrator was so good at giving that attitude and giving that I think that's why I liked Freya a little bit more. I almost said Freya. Feyre. I did it again. I was thinking Feyre, said Freya. I think that's why I liked her a little bit more than some other people did, was because she was so good in the audiobook. That even if I thought she was a little bit naive and maybe dumb sometimes, I was like, I enjoyed listening to her inner dialogue.
Yeah. The only issue I had is that I felt like most character arcs, I see them maybe start lower and then like grow into themselves a little bit. Yeah, definitely. And if anything, I kind of felt the opposite here.
Yes,
I felt she started a lot more confident, and then it's not even like it was a drop after she killed her husband and did that stuff, and then she was working her way back through adversity or something. Kind of I felt like it kind of tailed down, and then it just kind of like stayed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because even when she's in the temple, like that's really towards the end of the book, right? Is when she's in the temple.
Yep.
And she has her little trip, which also, let me just side note, the trip was so funny.
That was it was the mushroom tea. Oh, that cracked me up.
That she was like realizing what she was doing until she's like, oh, fuck.
I'm fucked up. And she was seeing all the shit. Yeah, honestly, low key, that's how I feel that I will feel if I ever do mushrooms.
Oh, I was dying. It was so funny. I loved the trip. It was
cracking me up.
It was so funny, but either way, like even through that scene when she's getting this, voice from the gods or going through that, she felt so weak through all of that. Yeah. And after that scene is even after she does use her shield to help Bjorn at the gates of the temple, which I would have thought would be a little bit of a turning point for her to really lean into her gift. And I just didn't feel like she did.
No, I don't feel like she did either.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I feel like now, after seeing the ending and knowing that she is of the two gods, and it was the god of hell, now after hearing that, I was like, I can see it. The rest, like when we were flipping through, looking through all the tabs and everything, I was like, wow, all these things that I tabbed was her like anger and her lashing out. And I was like, that's what the red in her eyes was. That was what her lashing out was. That's why she killed her husband.
Yeah.
I was like,
well,
wow.
That's why she killed her husband. And the part, when I read it the first time, didn't necessarily stick, since we don't know her well enough at that point, hadn't stuck out to me as odd behavior. But the first part that did stick out to me as odd behavior, that was like, something weird's going on, is when her and Bjorn are fighting back against the raiders that have come into the village. Yes. It's on the night of her wedding with Bjorn's dad.
God, let's get into that after.
Yeah, but it's the night of that wedding, and they realize there's raiders, and they go out towards all the ships, and they're like swimming up and trying to like light fire to all these ships. And he says, "Okay, do this, and then get back in the water." She gets up there, and she's like, "But I think not." Like, jumps off to another ship, like keeps going. She's like, "No, I'm gonna light another one, bitch."
I'm sorry, what are you doing?
But even the way that she talks about it in her head in that moment, I was like, I feel like this is weird.
I feel like it was odd. Yep.
And so I wonder if even in those moments earlier when she's making some decisions where she's like going this way and then all of a sudden that way.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was that other voice in her head the whole time. Yeah. If we were supposed to feel like
what is going on?
Like you have split personality disorder.
Yeah. Which I honestly think so. I think that sets it up perfectly for a second book because she knows, right, now that she's of the two gods, so now she can maybe maintain it a little bit better or like manage it. And I don't know, I feel like maybe we were supposed to feel like that there were two split personalities, and now she's got to try to navigate that.
Unpopular opinion, I'm sure. And I'm sure this isn't going to happen, but I said this in another book recently too. I really would love to see Freya go down a little bit of a villain arc with this piece of Hell's Daughter abilities, you know, and then have her like crawl back to the good side, you know.
You don't think she's already done that?
No.
Like, okay.
I think a little bit with that scene where she like sends everybody to Valhalla. But that's what I'm saying is I don't want.
Or killing her husband. Or killing her husband.
Yeah, I guess.
Because she feels so bad about it.
She does. So that's the thing, is she keeps talking about feeling bad about it. I would love going into book 2 to have her all of a sudden lean in to that power she has after like sending everybody to Valhalla and be like, yeah, I am fucking badass. You guys better be scared of me.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see that versus I think the book is going to start and she's going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I killed all those people. Oh my God, I can't believe all those people are gone. Oh my God, I'm crying again. I can't believe that happened.
Oh my God,
like,
I'm so sad. Oh my God, I'm whining again. Oh my God. Yeah.
So that's my
that would
small
be
little
awesome.
opinion is I think that would be super interesting.
That would be so cool. I would love for the book to start off that way too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I don't think it's gonna. My guess is that that's not gonna happen.
Well,
but
so it's only a duology.
Is it?
It is. So
I didn't realize that.
Yep. Which I think
nice.
will make me like it even better because it's not a 7-book like whole series that you have to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Maybe because now she's hit this point and now she's got to either come back from it in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess if it's only a duology, I'm going to assume the next book she's going to be good. Or come back to the good side or whatever.
Let's hope for the first half, though, that she was...
I just want a little bit of... I want Freya to be a little naughty.
Yes! Oh, I love that.
I just want to see her be a little bad, okay? I want to see her piss off a few people. I want to see the Jarl and the King be scared of her. I mean, I just want her to be a little bit of a badass.
I want Bjorn to be a little scared of her.
Yes!
Yeah. It seems like he is, like, groveling at her feet at all times. Which
is nice.
I do love. But I do want that power to be shown. that she's got like this badass power. And I don't want it to be taken away from her.
Yeah, that too. There are so many books that have that trope of giving up your powers to save the world or to save somebody or something like that. It's always the women. I hate it.
I hate it too. It's like some of my favorite characters in the whole world, they lose their power and they have to figure out how to live as a normal human again. And I'm like, you guys, you give a woman all this power and then you take it away. Yes. I hate it.
Yeah.
So low-key hoping that does not happen.
Yeah. Well, okay. Switching topics.
Yes.
Ingrid and her brother. Tell me
other than the fact that I hate the both of them.
I agree.
Yeah. I feel like Freya spent all of her energy and time being like, I need to save my family. I need to save my friends. I am loyal to them. And they were like, fuck her. We're going to do whatever is going to be best for us.
I totally agree. When Ingrid comes back up after Freya has been outed as the shield maiden and everything, and after she's kind of helped her brother so her brother doesn't die, and they come up sort of to say thank you, and then they're like, oh, your hand and everything after she's been burned, this is a gift from the gods, like, you're so lucky, you should feel so lucky. Bitch, no, you're allowed to feel a little sad for her in losing her life. You don't need to all of a sudden be worshiping her like this. And inside of Freya's head, you can tell she's like, oh, that's not what I needed right now.
Yeah, just exactly. So sad. Well, especially because she did just kill her now ex-husband because he said he was going to make her best friend Ingrid's life a living hell. Right. And she was like, I saved you and you have no idea. The fact that they were just so quick to dismiss her as their friend or sister or whatever and worship her as a goddess, to me was just like, you never respected her.
Yeah.
I hated that.
And even her mom, she goes back to her mom's house in that whatever neighboring village and goes to have that conversation with her. Fuck her mom too. God, even that, I'm like, why did you come back here? She's a piece of shit.
Yeah, she gave her up the first second that she could.
For her other child. Like, it's like such a clear, I care about this other child more than I do you moment. I'm like, damn.
Damn was right. I was so pissed at that point. And the fact that after the fact, she goes back and still tries to save her.
I know. And then she's all upset and stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know what? She fucking deserved it.
She fucking deserved it. You are absolutely right. Like, fuck that bitch.
Yeah, I was not about it.
I hated her so much. But the funny thing from that conversation, the way that you get the god's blood is to have a threesome.
I mean, yeah, that's well. So I guess it must have been a foursome for them, right? With the two gods. And
I love that the gods came back and said, "Wait, let's do it again."
Fuck so nice. Let's do it twice.
The next day was like, what was it? Later that day or the next day, they were like, hey, I brought a friend. Okay, low-key though. Yeah. I was actually laughing so hard during that part.
I know. I was too. Oh my God. I think that was supposed to be serious, but I was definitely kind of laughing.
Okay, me too. Because hold up. So when Bjorn got his power, did they have a threesome then too? Or
I think we don't know, right?
How did Bjorn get his power?
Well, we know that his power manifested when his mom was being attacked and he was like a small child and he wanted to be able to save his mom. He says he doesn't even remember calling Tyr's name, but that all of a sudden he had the accident. He accidentally burnt down the house, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's all we know to this point about how he got things. Yeah, but so I guess I don't know if that means his mom also had a threesome to get there or what.
Because is the Jarl also, that's not actually his dad, right? It was.
Yeah, it is. Right?
So
I guess so. So the Jarl had a threesome with a god.
I guess so. Well, because we know that the Jarl cheated on Ylva with Bjorn's mom.
Was it cheated? I thought he was with Ylva first and then thought she died and then went to
I could see that too.
Ylva.
I don't remember clearly.
I don't know.
But either way, he was with
Yes.
Bjorn's mom, and then he was with Ylva.
Yes.
And yes.
Which is why he has we haven't talked about the younger brother at all. I don't have a lot of things to say about it, except that I liked the younger brother fine.
Yes.
I think I wasn't sure how I was going to feel. I didn't know if he was going to be a little bit of a snotty, stuck-up brat, but he seemed like a good enough young man.
And I think, honestly, with Bjorn not wanting the righteousness of being the king and everything, I feel like the younger brother would actually make a great option for that. But everybody just kind of like overlooked that.
Yeah. I think in this book, it didn't matter too much yet.
No, true.
But it does make me wonder if in the second book, and especially that second book being the last book, if that's what you're saying, if maybe the Jarl will die and then all of a sudden the succession planning of will it be my firstborn son or my trueborn son type attitude, if that's going to be more impactful of a decision.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens in the next book with that. What did you think of Freya lusting after the son of the man that she is married to, in quotations?
It felt like the opposite of Birthday Girl.
Stop me. That's so accurate, though.
Like,
That's
I feel
so
like you see so many like age gap things, you know, but it felt like the opposite of an age gap.
100%.
Sure.
100%. That is actually such a good connection.
But it was a little bit sweet that the Jarl loved his wife, Ylva so much that he's like, no, we're not even gonna seal this. We're all gonna make this pact right here, and then I'm gonna fuck my wife so hard that everybody can hear him, and there's gonna be no doubt that we sealed this marriage. I was like, oh. I love that. Like, they're so in love with each other.
I loved that too. And when that was all happening, I was like, okay, maybe he's a good guy.
Yeah. I think he doesn't need to be I think he's misled. I don't think the Jarl is a bad guy. I think that he was misled by the prophecy that he's read into so deeply.
Yes.
Is my
From
guess.
Bjorn's mother.
Is that who gave the prophecy?
I'm pretty sure, because Bjorn kept saying my mother gave this prophecy and I don't really remember it. Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
I'm surprised I did, honestly, listening to the audiobook.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I liked the interaction when he was like, I'm already married and I love my wife, and so I'm not going to consummate this marriage. But then I felt weird about it, because then it put Freya in such a position like, no, hey, she likes your son a lot. It was insta love.
That's so funny, because I never felt weird about that. I was like, oh yeah, get him. Like, literally never thought twice about it. I don't know. I think in my mind I was just picturing like picture somebody our age. I'm picturing the Jarl as like some 60-year-old man. Like, yeah. His son, definitely
go for the son.
Wasn't even a question.
Well, it just kind of made me think, because up until that point when she marries him, she hasn't really had like a positive sexual experience.
Right.
And she even says that when she's like, oh, this is supposed to feel like this. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh my goodness. And so up until that point, she like didn't even know that it could be good. And so to me, I was just kind of like, oh, that's going to be a bummer for her. Like, she's never going to be able to experience that. But then, I don't know. It was like, there's going to be some implications of her being with Bjorn. Obviously, yes. Which clearly does happen, so.
Yeah, but that's why I say I wonder if the Jarl will just die. And they won't. Especially if there's only one more book. I wonder if he'll just die, and then it'll be a little weird. But then she'll just be with him or something.
Yeah. Because she's never actually had a connection with the Jarl, so...
No. Well, and he's already married.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why would she care at all?
He doesn't need a second one.
It's literally just for power.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe should we talk about the prophecy briefly?
Oh, yes, let's do it.
Yeah. So the prophecy is that there's going to be a shield maiden birthed on the night of a red moon, name born in fire of the gods, who would unite the people of Scotland. What was I supposed to pronounce?
Good job.
Is that right?
Scotland is correct.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding.
Scotland.
Beneath the rule of the one who controlled her fate. So that's how it's read. So he's assuming that because he, meaning the Jarl, is assuming that since he controls her fate right now, or says that he's controlling her fate right now, is that he's going to be the one who's uniting the kingdom. But then they also say over and over again that the lives of the children of the gods, their fate is undecided. So I felt like that contradicted itself a little bit there on, like, I wonder who, since she is a child of the god,
she is unfated.
She should be unfated, but who controls her fate then? Herself? So that's why, is it going to be united under herself because she controls her own fate? That's how I took that.
I took that as the gods.
But the gods aren't supposed to control her fate either, right? She's supposed to be unfated. But like it's up to her.
Yeah.
That's why I say
just be up to her?
Would unite the people of Scotland beneath the rule of the one who controlled her fate. So I think that
she's going to unite the people.
Be that she's going to unite the people because she controls her own fate.
So she's going to be the queen? Will she have to kill the Jarl to do it? Or King Harold to do it?
Who knows? Yeah, because I guess I don't see King Harold stepping down.
No. Unless that sly guy is already seeing it happening. And he's like, yeah, I'll step down for you. But only you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
but anyway, so that's how I had read that prophecy.
I didn't even think of it that way. So you totally opened my eyes there.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's going to be someone else who controls her fate and they unite it. But
you know what? Then it'll be a twist and we won't see coming. And then it'll be even more exciting.
Yeah. So there was that piece of it.
Oh, I love that actually. So on that note though, so the book's name is A Fate Inked in Blood. If they're unfated, what the fuck does that mean?
There's a line really towards the end of the book that they talk about that, I don't know, basically Freya's fate being in her blood to unite people and stuff. I don't know. They make there was some comment where they specifically used the title of the book.
They did.
Where you're like,
I did not catch that.
Nice. You know,
I love that.
It's always a little satisfying when you're reading a book and you come across the title in the text itself.
I love that. And you know what? I was listening to it at the end, so I probably didn't even catch it, and now I'm bummed.
Nah.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think too far into that, I guess.
Maybe I was thinking about it the entire book because when we find out that she is the child of a god and she is unfated, I was like, then what does the title mean? That was like my initial thought. And now I'm like, I thought about the entire book and didn't even get it at the end.
I will say the girls at book club also were a little confused by the whole everyone else's life is fated except for the children of the gods. But then if the children of the gods' lives are not fated and they can do things to change things, they're probably impacting other people's lives and therefore their lives are not fully fated. So I don't know. You're like, we got a little confused in that little circle, your logic.
Oh, that's actually funny. That reminds me of a movie that we just watched and I don't remember the name of it. But it was basically like you download an app on your phone and it tells you when you're going to die.
Oh, yeah. No, thanks.
Thank you. I said the exact same thing. I said, no, thank you. I don't want to. And they kept trying to rig the game or the application on the phone. And it was like some super sinister demon that had a deal and blah, 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 blah. And they kept trying to rig it, but it would still happen anyway. And so even if they would do everything very differently and they violated the rule of the games, they would still die, but in a worse way.
Oh, so that's how you feel like the people who are fated is like, it doesn't matter if things around them change. Their end result is going to end up being the same. The fate of their life is the same.
Yep. And that's...
Okay.
Yes.
I like that description though. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Also, now I kind of want to watch that movie.
It was interesting for sure. It kept us captivated the entire time. It was like, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. It was very suspenseful though. So it was fun. Yeah. It was fun. But that's definitely how I pictured it. Like, oh, you know what? No matter what happens, they are still going to have the same fate. So.
Oh, okay. On another thing that I loved about this book, Fate Inked in Blood had kiss to blend in as that micro trope in there.
Oh,
and I thought that was perfectly executed. And this is after they're like in the
after
temple.
She was touching herself. Yes.
Makes me immediately think of that Selena Gomez song. Never mind. We'll
Can't
get
keep
that.
my hands to myself.
Yeah.
I care about why would I want to.
Glad you understood where I was going with that.
Exactly where you were going with that.
Anyways.
Okay, huge Selena Gomez fan over here. But
me too. It's
I
good.
love her so much. Anyway.
So this is when they're in the temple, whatever. So I was imagining, in some walled off area, right? And they've done the whole tea trip and they have all gone to bed, and she snuck out to go try and eavesdrop in this conversation because everybody else was gone.
Oh, yeah.
And as she's trying to come back, it was when she runs into Bjorn, right? Yep. And then all of a sudden all the like officer people are coming through because they're looking for her.
They're looking for, yes, I think they were looking for her.
I don't remember what they were looking for, but he like presses her up against a tree and is like hiking up her skirt and stuff. And I was like,
and puts her hair over her face.
Yeah.
So they couldn't see her face.
Yeah. And she was real into it, way more into it than he was expecting.
And she goes, while they were like, hey, we're trying to look for this girl, she goes, just fuck me. Or something like that.
Yep.
And he was like, oh my God.
Yep.
And they go, well, we need to see her face. And he goes, at a moment like this, no, you don't.
Yeah.
He's like, I am busy.
Yeah. So yes, that's that. The like kiss to blend in and body warmth for survival are like two of my favorite micro tropes.
They were both in here.
They were both in there. Yeah,
I'm surprised that didn't bring your rating up a little bit.
I know. I think that's why it was a 4 originally.
Yeah.
But then when we talked more about how much I kind of didn't really like her that much, it kind of brought it down a little.
You know what? At book club, it kind of brought mine down in that sense. Excuse me, 2. I was like, 4.5 came in super strong. I loved it. And people were like, meh. And I'm like, oh, I guess you're right. I maybe didn't love that as much. Like,
I do hate that when you read a book and then you go to put your review in Goodreads and then you kind of see what everybody else has been rating it. And it makes you second guess what you put there. Sometimes I try not to look at other people's ratings until I've at least read the book or have sat on my rating for a little bit enough that I'm not going to adjust it, because it is easy to get influenced by other people's opinions.
Definitely.
They make good points, obviously good points. But at the same time, I like my ratings to be a true reflection of how I felt when I finished the book. Right?
For sure.
And sometimes that still adjusts when I sit on it for a little bit longer, and that's fine. But I feel like it's unfair if I don't give authors a real feeling at the end of it. So yeah, because it is tough. And I honestly, if I haven't read the book, I won't really read other people's ratings because I also don't want to get spoiled.
Oh, same. The only thing I do see is like if I'm looking on TikTok and people are like, read this book, I loved it. Read this book, I loved it.
I'll look at that.
Right.
But I mean the written out descriptions like on Goodreads, I don't like to read those.
Sometimes I feel like though, if people are like super hyped about a book, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be 5 out of 5. And then sometimes I'm like, maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it. I don't know.
It goes both ways, right? Because powerless. All of the videos I had seen were like, it's amazing. I can't stop thinking about it. It's so
love
good.
It.
And so I went, I was like, oh, this is going to be so great. And I was like, oh. Nah. And same with this one. I was like, all of the videos I saw were, oh, this is so good.
So great.
It's so good. And I was like,
it was good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a think about it every type of day.
We've talked about that we may just be moving out of a fantasy romance phase for a little bit, or taking a little pause.
Yes.
Not to say that we don't like it anymore, but I think I've read enough of it over the last couple of years that we're excited to be dipping our toes more heavily into some other genres too.
Like some sci-fi.
Yeah, like some sci-fi.
I think that brings into a really good transition into what we might have for the summer and what's kind of coming up. So we chose Red Rising for our June book club.
Yes, very excited. If you live in Denver, broader area, and you're interested in joining, We will be reading Red Rising, going over as a group. We don't have a date or time picked out yet, but keep following us on our socials and we'll include you if you want to join.
We'll probably do a park in Denver because that was so much easier than trying.
That was really nice. The doggies all got to run around.
Oh,
it was great.
It was so fun. And I think choosing some more like sci-fi books and maybe some more like heavy fantasy, I think would be so fun.
Bringing you to the dark side.
I know. And I think for the summer too, it would be really fun because we're all so busy. We've got so much going on in the summer. We want to camp. We want to do all the things. So maybe doing some like more general episodes. So if there's something you want to hear, like how to make reading more affordable or how to get arcs, let us know.
Yeah.
I think that'd be super fun. Well, what else do you have for some Fading to Blood?
I mean, I think that's about what I got. I feel like we covered the highlights there.
I think so too. I think we covered a ton. And I feel like, I guess, question, will you read the second one?
I mean, I gotta know what happens to Bjorn shits himself.
Did we even mention that?
I don't think we did.
Oh my god.
Well, that would be the brief thing. Let me just say Freya's nickname for him. Well, she's Freya, what?
Born in Fire.
And she calls him Bjorn shits himself. I just died. So yes, I mean, I'm definitely interested to know what happens to him. I'd say it's probably one of those books that I'll read, but won't necessarily read the day it comes out.
Yeah. I totally feel that. I think I'll probably pre-order because I hope that it has sprayed edges and I hope I have the pretty version.
Got a match.
Exactly. And I really like a Viking romance. I felt like this kind of broke up what we were reading a little bit because we were reading a lot of fairies, and now I feel like, okay, we're moving in. And another book that we'll probably talk about recently, I feel like definitely split up that reading.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll probably read it, but we'll see. We'll see. Sure. We'll do an episode on it.
Good. Awesome.
Fun.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Catch us next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.